crown. So who's got the... There's no fourth crown. Where's the fifth crown and the sixth crown and fifth and seventh
Oh, I
and
don't
eighth?
know. I don't understand it all. Anybody know what all this crown nonsense
I
is
just
all
Googled
about?
it, and even Google doesn't know what it's about.
Google made it.
Oh, hold on. Captain Cruisers just took the top crown. And Hobby Timers just took Captain Cruiser's crown. No, hold on. Yeah.
Somebody's stolen Nev's crown. That's outrageous.
Only top three, Lee Davis has said. Yeah. If anyone knows what this crown business is about on YouTube, please do tell us. It's very confusing.
It is. It is very confusing. Indeed.
Yeah, I agree, Captain Cruise. I thought that Mazouz would be number one for coming in first.
Well, I don't think it's. I don't think it's first to the chat room, though, is it? I don't think that's quite.
So if I type a load of messages, will that then make me number one?
Try it. Spam us, and what I'll do is I'll put you in a timeout for misbehaving. Oh, he's actually doing it. Look, he's. You haven't got a crown at all, Carlos. You've got a long.
I've got no crown. I've got no crown.
I love that. The actual creator of the Plain Talking UK podcast
has not got a crown.
Has not got a crown. I love that.
Quality over quantity.
You have got a blue spanner of death, though. So, clearly
I have got a blue spanner of death. Yeah. Snowflake says, T's going to get more confusing, guys.
I think he means it's going to get more confusing.
Never mind, Carlos.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Quite right. Absolutely.
Dearie me. Going out for a long walk on Friday evening, just to sort of,
My commiserations. Yeah.
Walk away.
Yeah.
Which is going to end up at the pub in Ocean.
Oh, of course it is.
Unfortunately.
Awful. That's not the problem, dear boy. It's the walk home afterwards that might be the problem.
Oh, that's made better by the fact there's a pizza van parked in the lay-by in between Bungay and Ocean on a Friday night.
Right. Okay.
Have you not seen it there?
No, I don't.
It is so popular. It is so popular. They do delivery.
What?
It's random as heck. There's literally a trailer, like camper trailer, big Winnebago-looking thing, restaurant, pizza thing.
Right.
And they pull up and they do actual properly made-to-order pizzas in a pizza oven, stone pizza oven. And there's flyers come through the door. There's flyers come through the door here, and you can order them. And they've got a guy in a little tiny like Fiat 500. They'd come deliver them to you.
Okay.
Me and Gemma had a pizza from there about a month ago before we went away to Malta.
Yeah.
And I'm not a massive fan of pizza unless it's got a thin base, which is how pizza should be.
Yeah.
And it was it's incredible.
Okay.
So good.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, they do other stuff as well. They do like Southern fried chicken and
loads of people rate the Stone place in town.
Too expensive.
Yeah, I agree.
It's way too expensive, and I came out of there last time with an empty belly.
Oh, really?
Which is never a good thing after you've spent 30 odd quid on food.
Are you joking?
Oh yeah, I had to go. Me and Gemma got a kebab after we came out because we're so hungry still.
Wow.
I don't mind paying good money for good food, but if you go in a restaurant and come out hungry, there's something not right.
That's not right, is it?
No.
That is not right, Nev, is it? That's not right.
Captain Cruise, Dirk, look at my crown. This is going to be the whole show tonight.
Yeah.
Is people are going to be trying to get.
Oh, Lee Davis is only third.
Captain
Cruise number one now.
Nev, you've lost your crown, have you?
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Or do you keep the crown?
I don't know.
No, he's lost it.
I feel as though I've gone down the pecking order.
Yeah, just put a little message. Are you just a boring old number 2 now?
Dirk Guess had temps.
Well, I have gone down to number 2. Yeah.
Missed. Oh, who have we got? So we've got. Who's Ice Chris?
Huh?
So Ice Chris is number 6. Number 5 is Hobby Time. Number
where's
4,
that?
Carlos. You're number 4 in the
Oh,
top
yes.
top trumps. Lee Davis is number 3. Neville Bounds, he's been relegated to number 2, and finally at number 1, it's Captain Cruise.
Oh,
Got our own top 10. Look, or top 6 in this case. Oh dear. Well, there we go. The day has taken a bit of a turn.
I'm now putting in the chat room. Who will be the top crown by the end of the show?
Wow.
Have you got the social media feed going, Matt?
We do have a problem with that, unfortunately, but I will give it a try.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
The reason why it's where producer John has created hundreds of things. It'll only show you the 10 most recent.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So I do need to talk to him about that when I get a chance. Having a little trouble sort of catching up with him at the moment. So, but I will give it a try. Let me give it a try. We might be in luck. What number is it? Yeah, no, I can only go back as far as 562.
Noted.
So unfortunately, I can't make the socials work.
oh, Mr. Warner's in.
Oh. Do you reckon I've got time to go and get a sneaky drink?
Yes.
It'll only be boring old water, unfortunately.
Oh well. Oh dear, dearie me.
Oh dear. Oh god, we've all been off yawning in the office today. Do you know what it is? I think it's because we all probably slept quite a bit better last night than we have done for a while, and so of course sometimes that's the worst thing, isn't it? When you have a
I still had the
decent night.
fan on last night though.
Did you?
The boys have had fans on them for the last 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. Do they
US
like?
fan.
Do they like it? Because sometimes they're a bit scared of it, aren't they? But
No, they love them. I brought these little black rechargeable USB fans,
yeah.
and I put them on the land, and they're laying on the landing, and Dave love it. He just loves
Yeah.
it. So. Air in his bits,
Oh, lovely.
as cats do.
Love that for you, Dave. Bear with, just getting a drink.
Yes, I'm very glad the temperature has reduced somewhat. It was 32, 33 degrees here during the day, and at night, because it just heats up the house, it was still 20. Well, it was actually 29 inside the house at one point, because there was no breeze at all. It was really, really intense and stuffy and horrible.
That's one place you won't want to be, Nev.
No,
In a tent.
no, precisely. Yeah.
Jonathan Warner says 2 weeks till Riat starts. But I think
It
if we
is, isn't it? Gosh.
we start saving up now, we might be able to attend next year's Riat. You ought to get down to this neck of the woods, Mr. Warner, for Old Buckingham Air Show, because it's going to be absolutely huge this year. They've signed about 6 million different acts that are going to be flying at Old Buckingham this year. And it's a lot cheaper than Riat. Obviously not quite as big as Riat, but...
Also, from where Jonathan lives, it'll cost him the price of a entry ticket to Riyadh to drive there and back.
Yeah, I suppose,
to
yeah.
Old Buck.
Ah, Mr. Warner can afford it. He's a multi-millionaire.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Lee Davies has stolen the crown.
He has. Yeah.
Yeah, Lee Davies is number one.
Well, there you go then.
I'm still number 4 and I've not said hardly anything. Oh well.
I just don't think your heart's in it anymore, Carlos. That'll be what it is.
I need some XPs.
Yeah, whatever one of those are. What is an XP? Have we discovered?
It doesn't say anything on Google at all. It doesn't explain what this crown thing is about. I suppose it's a way of showing who is contributing the most in the chat room.
Yeah, but see, as you say, Captain Cruz has now lost his crown to Lee Davis. I love that. He's saying, Lee Davis, treated well, please. Treated well. It's
So
lovely. It's like the
funny.
passing of a torch, isn't it? It's lovely. There's definitely perks living 15 minutes from Fairford. Only have to pay for tickets and all the junk I'll inevitably buy.
Yeah,
Of
but
course,
yeah,
there
but
is
Jonathan Warner pays for like the whatever they call it, free out or whatever it's called. It's
that.
like
Oh, okay.
it's like a mortgage a year,
Right.
and you get to go in a you know, a confined area and look at planes and stuff like that. I think.
Game of YT chat thrones. Thank you, Dirk. Appreciate that. Hi, Tanya. Hello.
Darren says, if I talk more BS, I'll have the crown in a jiffy.
Very good point. Get stuck in.
Oh, I love it.
£285 for a 6-day pass. That's a very
How
big,
much?
That's a very big number, Mr. Warner.
Blimey.
Yeah. Oh, look, Tanya's number 8 now.
Oh.
We've got some movement in the rankings, children.
Well, I'm not going to click on it now. Now you've said that. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Neville's back at 3. Mr. Bounds
Yes.
is in at 3.
Yeah. We've got a top 8 now. We're going to have a top 10 before we know it. Oh, it's 2 minutes. I am watching the clock, Mr. Bounds. Here you go. Look.
Lee Davies has got the top crown to see how long he can hold on to it for.
Oh dear, God, it's like.
I feel like we should have that. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
The music. Or that.
Oh, I saw what you mean. Okay, all right.
Oh, all right, Darren. That is cheating. That is cheating, Mr. Darren, Mr. Smith. That is that's cheating.
Hello, what did
Honestly.
I do? Sorry.
No, not you. Darren's cheating. That's
Is he?
terrible.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Bearing in mind, he just did exactly what you did.
Yeah, but at least I writ something.
Writ.
Darren just put dots.
Oh, dude. Writ.
Oh, Andy's here. Andy's here. Just literally 20 seconds before we are technically live. And Andy's here. Oh, Mark Priestley's now dropped in at number 10.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Here we go then.
6, 5,
Well done, Tanya.
4, 3.
Well, hello and welcome to episode 558 of the Plain Talking UK podcast. I am Carlos, and in this week's show, London Heathrow reports a profit of £2 billion this year. But this also coincides with an unfavourable report into the recent major power outage that was actually warned about 7 years ago. Vietnam Airlines suspends 4 pilots after a taxiway collision in Hanoi, and Qantas takes delivery of its first Airbus A321XLR. In the military this week, the Royal Air Force will be receiving a replacement for its ageing Hawk fast jet trainers, with the new aircraft potentially being made in Britain. And the US Air Force terminates the E-7 Wedgetail early warning aircraft program. We'll also go back to the Duxford Air Display, where Nev spoke with Mike Smith from the Duxford Aviation Society about the challenges of maintaining an incredible fleet of aircraft at the site. So, joining me this week, he's back in the studio across the village here in the glorious Bungay, is, of course, Matt Smith.
Hello, how are you?
Cool down in there. No,
Yes,
Matt?
yeah. Do you know what? It's quite nice. I have cheated. I have left the studio door open, so poor Mum's got to hear what's going on here, bless her. But
I can only guess
yeah.
how hot it was in there yesterday and the day before.
I didn't spend much time in it. I'm pleased to say it was mostly spent in an air-conditioned office. I'm not going to lie.
Good idea.
It's just like, yeah, fancy. Thought I'll go into the office. The air conditioning was on. So my boss likes it quite warm, but 23 degrees was quite considerably cheaper. Cooler, I should say, than it was the rest of the place. So yeah, absolutely opted for a couple of days in the office.
Yes, we have had some lovely weather in the UK over the last few days.
We are awful though, aren't we? Really, because all we've done is complain about how rubbish the weather is, and now we've finally got some actual half decent weather. We're all complaining because
Well, it's back again. The summer's back again because it's the sun's come out now, so we're back to normal again. But it's cooler, which is the main thing, which obviously makes things better for our next host of the show, because it's always sunny across in glorious Buckinghamshire. It is, of course, our connoisseur of all things Seat 1A and BA. It's Neville Bones.
Yes, I'm very glad that the temperature has reduced. It was not very funny the other day. It was 33 degrees on Monday, and then not far off that inside the house, actually. It was like 28, 29 degrees at one point, so not very nice. And there was no air flow either. It was really, really poor. So, however, things are better now, although it's bit cooler, a bit more manageable, hopefully. So, but yes, looking forward to another action-packed show of stuff. Lots to talk about this week. And a visit back to Duxford as well. So that'll be nice.
Yes. And Alfie's joining us as well.
He always likes to join in, you know him.
I know. And he's back this week, our resident Airbus captain and training captain and sim training captain. He's just a captain at everything, really. It is, of course, the legend that is. It's Andy, Captain Andy. Hello.
Captain of all trades, rubbish at all of them.
Oh,
Hello. I'll
good
tell you
to have
what.
back.
Thanks. It's been a lovely week, hasn't it, since last Wednesday? And the pub was uninhabitable on Sunday and Monday. So I just had to do the drinking outside of the pub.
Oh,
It was too hot. It was way too hot in here.
blimey! It must be well insulated.
Yeah, it's lovely in here in the winter, but in the summer it's way too hot.
Oh wow! But I bet you still had the chillers going with the beers in.
Yeah, and they were struggling as well to keep the temperature down. It was tricky having to drink slightly warm beer. That's not what an Englishman wants.
So what have you been up to, Andy? Anything exciting?
I have been all over the place since I last saw you guys. I've been Leeds, London, Gatwick, here, there and everywhere. And I'm off on another adventure next week, so I won't be here next week because I'll be in Iceland.
What?
Yes, work-related.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. What, flying into Iceland yourself, or
No,
as a passenger?
As a passenger, then I've got various things to do up there.
Oh god, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've been doing no other flying then, Andy? No other jobs around?
No, not at the moment. I'm in the depths of designing the winter sim training now, and it's busy.
There we go. Well, we'll hopefully have some reports back about how exciting your adventures are when you're back in a few weeks' time. But
Yeah.
glad to have you back with us this week, Andy.
Oh, it's
Very
lovely
great
to be
indeed.
back.
Right, it is the beginning of the month. It is the 2nd of July, and it's time to say a special thank you to some very, very kind people indeed who helped the show, Nev.
Yes, very much so. And of course, we can't do the show without your assistance. So thank you very much to the following people that have donated on Patreon. It's Richard Adams, Derek Smith, Bill Aronek, Sam Dawson, Alex Robinson, Dirk S., Sasha Beer, Stephen Ivy, Nick Codling, Lewis Cashares, Alan White, Stephen Howland, Tanya Wyman, Nicholas Hewitt, Masha Hertz, Ruben Wells, Neil Landwarn, Graham Haley, Jonathan Warner, Jordan Rose, Andrew Wilson, Captain Jeff, Adam Spink, Liz Piper, Jeff Ward, Stuart Backer, Stephanie Plummer, and Carl S. in New Jersey. And the people that donate to us from PayPal are Mazuz and Jenny Parkinson. Thank you, one and all, for your fantastic donations again this month. It's really helped us with all the expense that we've got coming out in the next couple of months with various shows that we're doing. So thank you very much to everybody.
Yes, and also a special thanks as well to Lee Davies as well for his kind donation through PayPal. So thank you to you, Lee. I know you're in the chat room. Very much appreciated from you as well. Thank you for that. More details at the end of the show on how you can become a Patreon of the show. But we've got lots to get through, but we'll have a look and see who's in the YouTube chat room this evening. Loads of the usual family members in there. Let's we'll put the crowns to one side for a moment. I don't know if Andy's seen the crowns yet. Top of the list, it's Mazus is in there. Good evening. Captain Cruz, hello to you. Lee Davies is in there, showing his. Well, has he got a crown? He's still got a crown, I think. Neville Barnes has got his blue spanner of doom. We've got Richard Adams. Hello to you. Good to see you in the chat room. Hobby Time. Good evening. Well, let me scroll down. Mouse is sticking. I think the mouse is running out of charge here. Captain Crew Snowflake. Hello to you, Snowflake. We've got. God, I think I'm going to have to charge this mouse up. Dirk S. Hello to you, Dirk. Good to see you in there. And thanks for joining us this evening. Jonathan Warner, good evening to you as well. Great to see you in the chat room. He's going to look forward to the grey stuff section later on in the show. And we have got Tanya. Hello to you, Tanya. Hello to you. And Darren as well is in the chat room. And make sure I don't miss you on. Neil Braden. Hello to you, Neil. Good to see you in the chat room this week, as always. Masha, hello to you. Lovely to see you in the chat room this evening. And we scroll down, make sure I don't miss anyone. Sturman, hello, Garth. Good to see you in the chat room this evening as well. Lovely to have you in there. Aviation, English and French is in the chat room as well. Good evening to you. Bill, hello. Good to see Bill in there again this week. Big Ron, good evening to you as well. And Jason Trussell as well, literally just dropped in the chat room as well. Don't forget, if you're listening to us as an audio show and you want to join everyone in the chat room who's in there this evening, just find us on YouTube, Plain Talking UK, click on the subscribe and bell icon, which I'm sure everyone in here has done already, and join us on a live show on a Wednesday night. It's as easy as that. Right, we've got loads of news to get through tonight, including Retro Airline Ad of the Week, which you'll be pleased to know this week features a UK-based airline. But more on that later. Right, is everyone ready for some commercial news?
Oh, yes.
The captain has turned on
Barely.
the seatbelt light. Please take your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
And the first story this week comes to us from express.co.uk. And it's not a Ryanair story, but the headline is the airline dubbed as Ryanair of India set to land here in the UK. So a new budget airline operating out of India has taken off from Mumbai this week and is making its way to Manchester on a 10-hour journey. Indigo's flight 6E0031 took off this week. at 4:25 a.m. local time and landed at 10 a.m. in Manchester. After landing in the UK, it began its return trip, touching down at 1:55 a.m. local time. The new flight route marks the first direct trip available to passengers between the Indian city and the north of England. The airline, which has been dubbed the Ryanair of India by the Telegraph, has been in operation since 2006, but has just embarked on its first India to UK route. The new routes use the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliners from Norse Atlantic Airways, and the Manchester flights will operate on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. The airline, which aims to become a global player in aviation, also launched a Mumbai to Amsterdam route. So, fares between Mumbai and Manchester, if you're living that neck of the woods, will start around £426 for a return journey in economy. Those who book onto Indigo's business class will look at paying more than £800 for a return journey, which actually is not that bad. Indigo boss Peter Elbers commented, "We're on our way to becoming a global player. We will offer very competitive prices," he said. Indigo's long-haul foray makes a pivotal moment in our global aviation journey, or expansion journey, he said in a press release. "We are very proud as well and excited to open the sale of our first long-haul service connecting Mumbai with Manchester, a very special route in many ways, celebrating India and its unique cuisine. We're thrilled to announce that specially crafted complimentary hot meals and beverages by iconic homegrown Indian brands will be served to all of our customers on the route." Nice, I like the sound of that. But yeah, there we go. A better way to get straight to Mumbai from Manchester if you live in that neck of the woods. I'm trying to think to myself, because after watching the live stream on TV, whether Air India fly out of Manchester.
No.
Andy? No.
No, they don't.
So they've got the complete monopoly then, Indigo, on this.
Yeah, it's interesting the way they're doing it via North Atlantic airframes, because Indigo are an Airbus operator, 320s, 21s. So I guess it's a good way to test the market, really. Use some wet leased aircraft that you don't have to pay for and maintain, and see what you can do. That part of the world is very popular from Manchester as well, because there's various other routes to it via Dubai, etc. And I think £800 for a return journey in business is very good. So I look forward to seeing the business class reviews all pop up on YouTube for that.
Yeah, it is quite cheap. What do you think, Nev? Do you fancy a trip to Mumbai?
No, actually. But it's just not my kind of part of the world. Having said that, as Andy said, that's a very popular route anyway into the UK. I mean, India's obviously a huge country, but it's they will have no problems filling the seats, I would suggest, on those sectors. So let's see how they get on. And by wet leasing something like this, it will mean that they can judge whether it's worth doing it, with their own aircraft coming into Manchester.
Yeah, very interesting. And I have to see what that package is like for business class, Andy, and see what I'm going to have a little review and see if anyone online has sampled that business class product.
I'm sure somebody will at some point.
Matt, you've got the next story, and I have never brought any of these. I'm just going to say
Have you
that
not?
before we start. No.
I must admit, I have bought 2 in my lifetime, and that was only because somebody that we know very well was actually on the scratch card. So I didn't buy it because it was a scratch card. It was more just because of the person who was on it. But the headline on this one, dailypost.co.uk, and the headline is: "Man buys hundreds of scratch cards on Ryanair flight and is stunned by the winnings." A man bought hundreds of scratch cards on a Ryanair flight to see what his winnings would be, but he was left astounded by the results. Vic on TikTok said his friend Ethan was interested to know how lucky he'd get if he purchased all the scratch cards he could find on board the flight, but he wasn't expecting to get the results he did. In a travel video shared online, Vic was left stunned by what he was left at the end of the journey. He bought so many cards that even passengers were helping him to scratch them off in the end, reports Belfast Live. I hate stories like this because We've gone through 3 paragraphs so far, and we've learned absolutely nothing. Telling people what happened, Vic Tock, oh dear, said that that we are here on Ryanair, and this man Ethan has bought every single scratch card on the flight. I've opened about 100 scratch cards. I've been opening these one at a time. We've not won a single thing. We have won nothing. No one has won anything. I'll keep you guys posted. Vic then goes on to recount the journey where it is revealed that Ethan snapped up 68 packets of scratch cards. However, despite a lot of scratching, they don't seem to be lucky in any way. He bought so many that passengers on the plane started helping him to scratch them off, but nobody seemed to win any prizes. Someone is seen shouting, no one won anything. Vic added, you're supposed to match 3. I can't even match 2. We've lost again. They couldn't believe that they didn't win anything at all. Since the video was shared, it has been viewed thousands of times, and people were quick to comment too. They had all sorts of thoughts to share. One said 100% they won't allow mass buying on the flight again. A second claimed, I am cabin crew for Ryanair, and there is so much more that you don't know. They can't sell you that many. Yeah. There is a limit spend per passenger. Cabin crew will be in trouble. A third replied, I wonder how many people have ever won money on those. The story goes on basically. To sort of like balance that out slightly, the 2016 report revealed the lucky winner would then be taken into a room with 125 envelopes that they must select from, with one holding the top prize. At the time, Ryanair noted other envelopes contained €50,000, which meant a hefty sum could still be won. It was also said that one car a month is won in the draw. But to put this in perspective, the odds of winning the lotto here are said to be 10.7 million to 1, and the odds of winning the Euro Millions come in at 139.8 million to 1. With National Lottery, you are only permitted to purchase 10 scratch cards within one transaction, but it's unclear how many you can buy with Ryanair. The company has been asked to comment on the claims it's made. It is trying. Carlos, could you just mute your mic, please? If you're.
Oh, am I not muted?
No.
Oh, this fader doesn't work then.
No, it doesn't. Not back to Zoom. No, it's on the
Sorry.
It's on the Aux channel, dear. Remember that.
Sorry.
Only when you're hosting does that fader do anything. There we go. Anyway, lovely conversation. Hope Gemma is well.
She's off to the gym.
Excellent. Yeah, a bit on the I don't know. I mean, a scratch card is a scratch card at the end of the day. I'm quite surprised by this story as well, because I was under the impression that there was a limit as to the amount you were allowed to purchase. I thought the limit was 10 as well, but it's been the information I have is from at least 6-7 years ago, from when somebody I knew used to work there. So things could have changed since then. I don't know.
Can you imagine,
any thoughts?
BEA or BOAC back in the day, the marketing department going, I've got a great idea. Why don't we have scratch cards on the plane in 1970 or something like that? But before they reinvented, clearly. But yes, I mean, it's been you might say it's been quite a thing for them, hasn't it? Over the years, it's been a quite a big magnet for them to do some of this. But
And people do definitely win. That I can definitely confirm. Yeah. But I suppose it is going to be all about, as you say, that's the thing. We all buy a lottery ticket with the and the odds are significantly better of winning a decent prize with the scratch card than they are over winning the national lottery. So it's all about percentages and stuff. I dare say the percentages are very similar, aren't they? It's just that. I don't know.
Dirk Guest is saying in the chat room that he'd rather have leg room than scratch cards on the plane.
Right, okay. Good luck with that.
And he follows it up with, sometimes I can't even scratch my leg.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, I wonder if you went into a shop and bought a whole roll of scratch cards.
10 is the
National
limit.
Lottery.
No, 10 is the limit.
Yeah, it does say in the story 10 is the limit. I wonder how often you'd win. Probably not very often at all.
I think that's the reason why there's a 10 limit, so you can't work out how many winners are in a row.
If there is any winners in a row, as in
Well,
big
exactly.
winners. Yeah. That's all a con. Anyway. Right, Nev, from scratch cards where you can win a potential, well, £2, to an airport that's making 2 billion.
Yeah, it's a head scratching, actually, I would say. London Heathrow Airport, the primary hub for British Airways, has raised its 2025 profit forecast to £1.8 billion, despite facing higher costs due to the recent UK national insurance hike. The projection comes as Heathrow handles stronger than expected travel demand and maintains its position as Europe's busiest airport, with anticipated passenger traffic of 84.2 million this year. The airport revised its earnings guidance upwards, projecting adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortisation of 1.98 billion in 2025, up from 1.95 billion forecasted in December. However, this does represent a 3% year-on-year decline due to mounting operational expenses flagged by This Is Money UK. Well, despite the pressure, the airport's performance is being buoyed by resilient international travel demand. Passenger volume is now forecasted at 84.2 million, which is a slight increase over the 83.9 million travellers in 2024. Between January and May 2025, Heathrow processed 32.6 million passengers, boosted by long-haul travel demand across Latin America, the Middle East and the Asia-Pacific regions. Heathrow Airport also welcomed 7.2 million passengers in May 2025, marking its busiest May on record. Driven by strong demand and a late bank holiday boost, the UK's hub continues to see growing passenger volumes. Key growth markets included flights to New York, JFK and Dubai, as well as robust demand to Mediterranean destinations and special event-driven traffic to Bilbao in Spain. Despite capacity constraints, Heathrow's operational performance remained strong. More than 95% of surveyed passengers rated their airport experience as good or excellent. Security processing was particularly efficient, with 99% of travellers clearing queues in under 5 minutes. That's a bit of a first, isn't it, at Heathrow? Well, the airport's also recorded a 16% year-on-year rise in cargo tonnage, with North American volumes increasing ahead of new tariffs. This growth offsets a decline in European freight activity and underscores the airport's role in global trade logistics. We always forget about the cargo part, don't we, when we talk about passenger numbers and all the rest of it. And of course, cargo business, the stuff that goes in the belly of the aircraft, is a very important revenue generator for the airport and the airlines as well. But as we'll talk about in a story coming up later on, Heathrow have had its challenges, of course, with the power outage as well, and we'll have a bit more detail about that towards the end of the commercial news segment. But it appears everybody wants to fly at the moment, and there are no shortage of passengers.
Yeah. I've got 2 comments on this. Using EBITDA is a bit of a disingenuous way of showing how much money you're making, for starters, and it's normally one to cover up some high interest on something or heavy taxes. But also, what's wrong with 1.95 billion? That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a lot of money to be making. So the airport's doing very well, and it always will. It's Heathrow. It's the entry to the capital.
And they could even, I mean, obviously the likes of Ryanair won't be flying there because dear Michael's got quite a issue with high landing fees. But honestly, I mean, the airport could more or less charge what it wanted to for landing fees and storage of aircraft because it is the big UK hub airport. So, but despite all of that, they're doing very well, and therefore, hopefully, the airlines are doing well with their revenue as well.
I wonder whether, with that big profit, Nev, whether they'll invest in some areas in the airport itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like most people's hospitals in the UK. It's been there a long time, and it's been added to and added to, and there's been some substantial big changes, like a new ATC tower and Terminal 5 back in the day, of course, and Terminals 2 and 3 have been refurbished. But it's an airport which has just had bits added onto it over the years, over the decades. There's no chance of doing a clean sheet, clean piece of paper, piece of work on it. But no, it does very well, considering the constraints it's got with its 2-runway operation. But it does have the connectivity to and from London. That's the main thing. So things like the Heathrow Express, those sorts of things really help. It's still really expensive to get a taxi though from Heathrow. If you just rock up as a passenger and get a taxi into London, it's extremely expensive.
Even if you want a taxi to a hotel, which is just on either side of the runway, is astronomical as well.
Yep.
And I do hope they invest in it and don't do what the water companies have done and just run off with the money.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to. I may have mentioned that I congratulated my taxi driver when I broke my ankle. I had to get back from Edinburgh, so I decided not to take the train from Heathrow to my house. It's only 45 miles, and the taxi cost me more than the BA business class fare. So that's
Wow.
£257 for a 45-mile journey. So I congratulated the taxi driver on charging me the most I'd ever paid for any taxi anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, and I bet you didn't get snacks either.
No.
Blimey.
And it was also a London taxi, so not known for its nice suspension. So when you've got a fractured ankle, it's probably not the best transport. I was expecting a long wheelbase Mercedes or something like that, but
Well, I mean, I'd have expected a limo for that kind of money. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I've gone for a Maybach for that money, definitely.
Absolutely. So that was quite recent then, Nev, wasn't it? Presumably.
that was when was that? End of November.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
So there we go. Anyway, thank you to my former employer for not even questioning the bill when I put the receipt in. So.
Bless him.
I'd expected old Sugar to send you his rolls out for
Well,
that
yes,
price
quite.
now.
Well, I was thinking of a helicopter flight
At least.
from Northolt back to where I live here. But there we are.
Ironically, there wouldn't have been a lot in it, I don't think.
Yeah, probably not. No. Oh dear. That's one to look up actually. That might be a little project for me to look that up actually to see what that would cost. Andy, you've got the next story.
Yes.
Bit of a collision.
Yes, I'm sure we've all seen the footage of this as well. This is from Aviation A to Z.com. Vietnam Airlines suspends 4 pilots after Hanoi taxiway collision. Vietnam Airlines has suspended 4 pilots after a taxiway mishap, that's one way to put it, involving 2 of its aircraft at Hanoi's International Airport. The incident disrupted scheduled departures to Ho Chi Minh City and Dien Bien, affecting 380 passengers. A Boeing 787 clipped an Airbus A321 on the taxiway at around 2 p.m. on Friday, prompting the immediate grounding of both aircraft and triggered a high-level safety investigation by the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam. I'd say it was more than the clipping. If you saw the video, it just drove the 787 wing just sliced cleanly through the tail of that aircraft. The incident occurred as a Vietnam Airways 787 was taxiing towards the runway for its scheduled departure to Ho Chi Minh City. As it moved through the intersection of taxiways Sierra 3 and Sierra, the aircraft's right wing tip struck the vertical stabilizer of a stationary A321, which was preparing for departure. The Boeing's wingtips sustained visible damage, while the A321's tail fin was torn. Both aircraft were grounded for technical inspections, and Vietnam Airlines promptly dispatched replacement aircraft to accommodate over 380 delayed passengers. In response, the airline suspended all 4 pilots involved, pending the outcome of an internal investigation. A separate independent team has also been assigned to probe the circumstances of the collision. The Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam has officially categorised the taxiway collision as a Level B safety incident. This rating signifies a serious breach of operational procedures with potential implications for safety, though short of a catastrophe. Preliminary findings suggest that the A321 may not have been positioned correctly at the designated holding point on taxiway Sierra 3 at the time of the event. And this possible deviation from protocol is central to the ongoing investigation. Well, I disagree that was central to the investigation. No matter where he was parked, that 787 should have stopped and just gone, I can't get through there. You need to, as a pilot, you need to have in your head the spatial awareness to know where the end of your wings are. And of course, every airframe type's different. I don't think the 321's done anything wrong in this incident. And it's the other guys. What do you think?
Well, yeah, and actually, I would imagine that trying to judge width or distance from the cockpit is probably quite tricky. And I'm sure you all go through a lot of training in the sim and ground handling and all the rest of it. But if you're in a tight space, it must be really difficult to make a judgment call on whether it is safe to proceed or not. And obviously, you're going to take, the cautious approach. Well, hopefully you are. But this stuff is not easy, is it?
No, absolutely. And I'm fortunate I don't fly a huge jet. The wingspan is only 38 metres on what I fly, which is still a substantial length. But I remember, I think it's Captain Nick off APG once trying to describe parking an A340-600 in tight spaces. And it must be horrendous. And in those cases, you really do need wing walkers as well to be able to tell you where the end of the tips are, because you can't see the wings out of the flight deck. On the 19 and 20, I've got to really stretch around on the 21 to see the tips. So yeah, you've got to, like you're saying, take a very conservative approach. If there's that little niggle in your head that, I don't think I can get past here, then just stop and wait.
Also, I think with cameras as well, I mean, that might sound like a solution. And certainly the Finnair A350 that I was on a few months ago, had a couple of really nice cameras so you could see where you were. But that's not really accurate judgment, is it? That's just a nice wide view for the passengers or the crew just to see what's going on. That doesn't really give you an idea of distance or perspective.
No. Again, because like you say, that's a wide angle lens. That's skewing the actual perspective on where you are. So it can look like you've got the room and then you don't.
Where would it be beneficial if you could, Andy, have a camera? If you could have a camera placed somewhere on an aircraft for this situation?
I don't think there'd be anywhere, to be honest, that doesn't beat your own eyes and just sort of that sensation of, am I getting too close here?
Or do you just want a little side mirror, like you have in a car, outside you?
Yeah, a couple of little mirrors just so you can see the wingtips. Yeah, that'd be good.
I mean, hardly comparing like with like, but the fabulous Ford Cougar that I now drive.
Oh,
but the cars are available.
Yeah, they are, but most of them, or a lot of them, have the 360-degree camera, and it's very nice. But when I'm reversing, I'm a bit old school, and I'm still looking out of the window directly. I'm maybe using a bit of the mirrors, but with the car being a bit bigger than the previous one as well. But yeah, as you say, Andy, you can't beat eyeballing it for real, can you?
No, the Mark 1 eyeball always wins.
Yeah.
Big Ron in the chat room says wing mirrors.
Oh, we'll see what we did there.
Very good. Very good.
Very good. Very good. Oh, dear. Darren Smith in the chat room A Savage. I was just thinking, says in the chat room, sensors on the end of the wings indicating distance from objects. Can you imagine that in the flight deck, Andy? Beep, 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 beep,
yeah, I've got those on my car. Yeah, they'd be quite handy, really, I suppose. But it's just another thing to go wrong and go down in the MEL, isn't it?
Yeah.
And never get fixed.
Anyway, right, moving on. Matt, you've got the next story and a headline I thought I would never see on this show.
Right, indeed. I'm still not convinced, I'll be honest with you, but we'll give it a go. The source is timeout.com on this one, and the headline is airlines will no longer be allowed to charge for hand luggage in Europe. We've all been there. You think you found a decently priced budget flight to a European destination, only to be hit with a huge fee for your overhead bag. Well, it looks like those days are numbered, as lawmakers have just voted to scrap hand luggage fees on airlines across the European Union. The proposal will allow holidaymakers to travel with carry-on luggage of up to 7 kilograms with no extra fee, and that's on top of your under-the-seat backpack too. According to the European Parliament's press release, Vice President of EU Committee on the Transport and Tourism, Matteo Ricci, said that the move marks an important step towards fairer and more transparent travel and will introduce concrete measures such as the clear definition of free hand luggage to up to a maximum of 100 centimetres, a fundamental right to avoid unjustified extra costs. Carlos, are you able to take over this story, please? I've got an urgent problem.
Obviously a massive win for travellers, this one, but not everyone's happy about it, as we can probably guess. It's expected to hit low-cost airlines particularly hard, such as Ryanair, for example, who made 4.7 billion euros last year from charging extra fees like seat selection and baggage costs. While airline lobbies have warned that the ruling could mean carriers will end up increasing their ticket prices to make up for the costs, the new measure is part of wider reforms proposed by the European Parliament on passenger rights. Further measures include allowing children under 12 to sit with their accompanying passenger free of charge, granting free seats to carers of people with reduced mobility, and forcing airlines to disclose the full cost of flights up front. All in all, it's very good news for passengers, but it's not clear when the law will kick in, as the proposal still needs to get the final green light in the parliamentary vote. So,
Well,
will this be it's just a bit strange, isn't it?
Well, there's one line in there that confuses me. It's we'll introduce concrete measures such as the clear definition of free hand luggage up to a maximum size of 100 centimetres. Is that a metre long or a metre on all sides? That's huge.
It's a bit big. I mean, you get a free piece of luggage anyway with most fares. It's only like the basic fares that you have to pay extra for a carry-on. But if you buy the second tiered fare with Ryanair, say your carry-on is included with the price, including a small laptop bag.
Okay, but your carry-on's not a centimetre, is it?
No, it's not a centimetre.
Sorry, not a centimetre. 1 metre.
I forget what the measurements are now for hand luggage carry-ons, but it's 45 by something, 45 by 80 something, I think it is.
I have to say that I think the airline, I mean, notwithstanding this story, the airlines were a bit late to the party in defining what is acceptable cabin baggage as well. If you can go back quite a large number of years now, where they started to charge for putting luggage in the hold over a certain size and weight. So people go, well, in that case, I'll bring it with me into the aircraft. And I think we've all been on flights where we've seen people really struggling with big lumps of hand luggage to put it up in the overhead locker or even to get it on the aircraft in the first place. So a lot of the carriers, I think all the carriers now have got that little thing at the gate which defines the size of hand luggage that you can bring on board. And I've seen people aggressively stuffing their soft bags into that to try and make it fit. And of course, the hard cases you can't do that with. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, I mean, this has been an issue for years. But as you say, Andy, it's not really properly defined, is it? 100 centimetres. That doesn't tell you anything, is it? So.
And all airlines will do that 4.7 billion profit they made from baggage last year. They'll just add that on the price of the ticket.
Yeah, I thought that.
I wouldn't mind that, actually. I would much prefer to have an all-inclusive ticket price of whatever it is to stop all this ambiguity And with the greatest respect to our American chums, those of you who've stayed in hotels in America, you're not really paying the amount of money that it says on your bill after you've checked out. You've got city tax, you've got all sorts of things like entertainment tax, maybe 3 or 4 items of additional costs below what you thought you were paying for the hotel. Although, to be fair to them, it does say this excludes local taxes. But again, there's just opportunity for ambiguity and disappointment as well, of course. So, yeah.
Going back to the hand luggage thing, right? I think if there are so many companies now, especially on some of the big sellers such as Amazon online, where you can buy a hand luggage case that is exactly tailored to what the size the airlines dictate, such as EasyJet, Ryanair, BA. So I think I don't think there's any excuse these days to not have a carry-on that doesn't fit into that framework or the the size stipulations by the airline, and they're not that expensive either.
No, I think we've also got to, again, this is another thing which just slows up the boarding process when there's negotiation going on between the gate staff or the check-in staff and the passenger about what is allowed and what isn't allowed. And I've been often behind people that said, well, this bag that I've got conforms to Ryanair standards. You're telling me I can't bring it on the plane. I've got to check it in. So there's lots of stuff there which just, and with aircraft having short turnaround times on the apron, you don't want to delay the boarding process even longer than is necessary.
Nev, we're going to go tech with you for this next one, and to an airport I think you've been to before.
I have several times, but most recently in the last couple of months. It's on the internationalairportreview.com, and it says that Helsinki Airport launches interactive 3D map to improve passenger navigation and terminal experience. Well, a new 3D map of Helsinki Airport has been launched to enhance the passenger experience by offering clear navigation to shops, cafes and departure gates. The map provides helpful guidance throughout the terminal. The terminal at Helsinki has been designed to make moving through it as easy and as seamless as possible. The airport's new map supports the discoverability of services and provides additional guidance for navigating the terminal. We hope the new airport map will further enhance the excellent passenger experience at Helsinki Airport, says Hanna Hämärinen, that's right, Director of Passenger Services at Helsinki Airport, Finavia. The new airport map offers a clearer visual floor plan and introduces new navigation features. It's a 3D model that users can easily rotate and zoom as needed. A key new feature is the ability to navigate from one point to another within the terminal. The user selects a starting point and a destination, and the desired route is drawn on the map. The map also outlines the steps of the route and provides an estimate of the distance and time required. In the search window, users can activate the option Avoid Stairs and Escalators, which prioritises an accessible route. Flight information is also integrated into the map to assist passengers, and users can search for the correct departure gate using their flight number or destination. The map also provides information about services along the route and near to the gate, including their opening hours. The search function can also be used to find airport services such as shops or restaurants and display a route to them. The new map is available on Finavia's website and can be used on both computers and mobile devices. QR codes displayed on screens throughout the Helsinki Airport terminal also direct users to the new map whilst at the airport.
How hard is Helsinki Airport now?
Well, to be honest with you, it's not that hard anyway. It's not a huge airport, but it's quite a big, a big-ish airport. I mean, it's the national airport of the country. But I have to say all Scandinavian airports are particularly good at signage and wayfinding and signposting and that kind of stuff. However, this just adds another enhancement to it. So I think that might be a good thing, particularly if those people that want to use the shops and restaurants, or they've got accessibility problems, or their flight's delayed, or they want to find out how to get from A to B. But having said all that, as I mentioned, it's pretty easy airport to navigate anyway. But no, anything which is a bit of extra help and you can use on your mobile device, so much the better.
You been through there, Andy? Through Helsinki?
No, it's too far north for me, that.
Ah,
Says the man that's going to Iceland.
Yes. So it's too far northeast for me, that. There you go.
Being a lad from the northeast, I'm surprised. Oh dear. But
no, it's a good idea. I think you definitely, if you've ever flown through Dubai Airport or Doha, we've flown through there before many years ago, you could have done with something like this because it's a nightmare trying to find your way around, especially when the airport is as big as Dubai. It's blooming huge. Right, moving on to the next story. And this one's from flightglobal.com. Investigators probe EasyJet takeoff data incident at London Luton Airport. Lovely airport that is to fly from. UK investigators are probing an incident in which an EasyJet Airbus A320 departed London Luton with incorrect takeoff performance data. The June 13th incident has been disclosed by French investigation authority BEA, and it states that the crew calculated takeoff performance based on using the entire runway length, but commenced the takeoff roll from intersection Alpha. Luton's runway 25 is listed as having a length of 2,162 metres or 7,093 feet. The declared takeoff runway available from intersection Alpha is 1,771 metres, although the overall distance available is 2,657. Under the conditions on the day, it was not possible to calculate the takeoff performance from intersection A, said the BEA. It identified the aircraft involved as Golf Echo Zulu Uniform Kilo, which was operating a service to Malaga. The aircraft managed to depart without any problems. EasyJet has previously carried out the investigations and taken safety action after experiencing multiple incidents from a number of airports involving data errors during takeoff. These have been linked to various circumstances, including high workload at Toulouse, confusing airport terminology at Lisbon, misselection of intersections at Nice, finger trouble at Luton, and the use of data for the wrong runway at Malaga and Belfast. Well, I'll tell you what, Nev, all the times that I've, not that I have done recently because I've not set it all up, but had the sim set up at home here, one of the things I never bother doing is putting the performance data in on the...
well, you should.
I know it's terrible.
You must put the performance data on.
And he's there, he's going... Ooh.
The easy bit, you should know this, is flying the blasted aircraft. But all the clever bit is before you depart. Now, I've got two questions, and I know Andy can't answer any of these really, probably, but for reasons which we can't really talk about currently. But the intersection Alpha is the last bit before you do a shortish backtrack onto the main runway, if I remember correctly, at Luton. So it's not actually that far from the runway threshold, but nonetheless it will reduce your takeoff distance. And the only other question I've got is, why is the BEA from France investigating a UK airline departing to Malaga, Spain? I shall just leave that there.
Leave it there
for you to think about.
I do have one question that Andy can answer, though. Am I right in thinking, Andy, that the runway at Luton is it on a hill? I'm trying to think. I remember someone saying ages ago that it's on a... Is it on a incline or I can't remember.
It's on the top of a hill, and one end is just a cliff straight off.
Ah, that's it. Yeah,
I spent 8 glorious years flying there.
Is that back when when that television program was there, based there?
Oh no, no,
oh.
I haven't been out long.
Love that series. Right, Andy, you have got the next story and something you might have known about or heard about.
Yes, this is from Airbus themselves, and this is flight control systems, more redundancy to enhance resilience. Airbus's innovative 2H2E flight control system blend of hydraulic and electrical power proved its remarkable resilience during a major A380 engine failure in 2010. This event showcased a new standard in aviation safety, now integral to modern Airbus aircraft. On the 4th of November 2010, an A380 suffered a major engine explosion shortly after takeoff. High engine debris struck the plane, causing significant damage to the aircraft structure and cutting around 350 wires. Now, for the people who are on YouTube, now see if you can guess which instant that was. Despite the serious damage caused by this uncontained engine rotor burst, the crew was able to fly the plane back to the airport. This was possible because of the A380's key safety systems, including the autopilot and the flight envelope protections, a system that prevents the aircraft from making any dangerous moves like flying too fast or too slow, continued to work. In addition to the flight crew performance, this outstanding outcome was made possible thanks to the plane's robust design, and more specifically, its 2H2E flight control system architecture. Thanks to this architecture, 2 hydraulic systems are backed up by 2 electrical systems. This concept was developed in the 1990s and first implemented in large civil air transportation aircraft on the A380. At this time, Airbus developed a new concept for moving the aircraft's flight control surfaces, the electro-hydrostatic actuator, or EHA. On large aircraft, flight control surfaces are moved by devices that create motion. Typically, these are powered by a central hydraulic system. The EHA, however, is a device that uses electrical energy to create this movement instead of hydraulic power. This invention allowed for the reduction of the number of hydraulic circuits needed by combining electrically powered actuators and conventional servo controls, leading to the implementation of the 2H2E architecture on the A380 instead of classic architecture with 3 hydraulic circuits, which we have on the 323H architecture. So, as I said before, 2H stands for 2 segregated hydraulic circuits and 2E for 2 segregated electrical systems. Finally, the redundancy is improved with 2 electrical systems, E1 in red and E2 in orange, replacing 1 hydraulic system, the blue one. Thanks to the 2H2E architecture, the following surfaces remain available during the incident cited at the beginning of this article, and it goes on to list what was remaining. But there we go. Having redundancy, they've now decided to tell everybody that this redundancy exists, and it works wonderfully.
Now, I'm assuming we're talking about Qantas QF32.
Yes, of course, that's the one, definitely.
And of course, you and Matt from the A320 podcast did an excellent interview with Richard, who was the captain on that flight as well, didn't you?
Yes.
I seem to remember.
My goodness, that was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, something like that.
So one of the things that he has said in many interviews that he's done was the amount of checklist stuff that was going on because of the multiple failures that he experienced because of this engine failure. Do you think that what we're seeing here will reduce the checklist rather than failures keep coming up all the time, which is what I think he did experience some of, didn't he?
Yeah, and that this system was fitted to the aircraft at the time, and I think that the main reason they got all of those failures was due to the amount of wires that were severed. The computers just didn't know what was going on. And I believe Airbus have since then updated the architecture and the logic of the system to discount. So if there's certain things that are contradicting each other, but there is a good data source or a couple of data sources elsewhere, it will start to discount the other stuff. They've certainly done that on later versions of software available on the 320 family, where it can now work out, in terms of unreliable airspeed, it can work out roughly which one's the wrong one if there's 2 good sources. Oh, they're Matt showing the pictures there of all the surfaces this time. But yeah, I don't think it'll reduce those checklists fully, but it was a freak incident as well, the QF32. I don't think we'll ever see that happen again.
So the picture on the screen now, Andy, for those who are watching on YouTube, so I'm guessing that's a similar kind of setup to the 320, is it? Or
so on the left, yes, the 3H architecture, it's the green, yellow, and blue systems, whereas the 2H2E architecture replaces one of those hydraulic systems with 2 electrical systems, so it adds more redundancy and resilience into the system.
Wow, very interesting. Thanks for that, Andy.
There you
I knew you'd be
go.
good at that
Andy's
one.
Tech Corner.
Tech Corner, yeah. New
Nothing wrong with
segment
that.
coming on the
Nothing
show.
wrong with that.
Matt, are you all right with the next one, or?
Yes. It's all sorted, I think, unless my phone
Yes,
goes
we're
again. Yeah.
moving over to Grant McCarran's area
Oh, are
of
we?
the woods here
no.
for this one.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. There we are. It's hot there as well. The Airbus.com is the source on this one, and it's exciting news for Qantas as they take delivery of its first Airbus A321 XLR. So Hamburg, Germany, 30th of June 2025. Australia's Qantas Airways is set to become the Asia Pacific launch operator of the latest generation of single-aisle A321 XLR, following the delivery of its first aircraft from the Airbus assembly line in Hamburg. Reflecting the long-range capability of the A321 XLR, the aircraft is flying from the Airbus facility to Sydney with just one crew rest stop in Bangkok. Powered by Pratt & Whitney GTF engines, the Qantas A321 XLR features a two-class layout with 20 seats in business class and 177 in the main cabin. The Qantas will initially operate the A321 XLR on domestic services across Australia, with potential to open future new services on secondary routes to Asia. Altogether, the Qantas Group has ordered 40 A321 XLRs under its fleet modernisation programme, with 28 aircraft allocated to Qantas and 12 to low-cost subsidiary Jetstar. These are part of the airline's outstanding orders with Airbus for 128 single-aisle aircraft and 24 A350-1000 wide bodies. The A321 XLR is the next evolutionary step of the A320neo family, responding to market needs for more range and payload, creating even more flexibility and value for the airlines. In typical airline service, it offers the longest range of any single-aisle aircraft, up to 4,700 nautical miles, and brings a reduction in fuel consumption and carbon emissions of 30% compared with previous generation competitor aircraft. To date, Airbus has secured more than 500 orders for the type. As with all Airbus aircraft, the A321 XLR aircraft is already able to operate with up to 50% sustainable aviation fuel, good old SAF. Airbus is targeting to have its aircraft capable of flying with up to 100% SAF by 2030.
It's becoming a popular little beast for Airbus, this, Andy, the XLR. It seems like it's sort of gaining, a lot of orders.
Yeah,
for various airlines.
It's filling the market that the 757 had before, essentially. It's got nearly the same range, but its emissions are so much lower. It's far cheaper to run. And especially when you put it into a fleet where you've already got 19s, 20s, 21s, the standard fits, pilots can fly them without any extra training. These things can go so far that the airlines are starting to see the worth in them. And I think the orders will start going up. I'm surprised it's at 500 already. But I think we'll start, in the next few years, those order numbers are going to go up. Because it's just, compared to the 21, the LR is just a couple of extra tanks, and the XLR is one more tank as well. And they build most of the new airframes now with all of the plumbing in there ready.
So I'm
Well,
guessing
also-
that I was going to say, that airframe with those extra tanks, I imagine it's quite a heavy airframe when it's fully fueled. That's
Yeah.
XLR.
Yeah, but it's been through certification and testing. The landing gear on the 320 family is one of the most robust. It's been through a lot, especially in the airlines that deal with a lot of cadet training and low-hour pilots. The landing gear has been put through hell. And in some cases, Airbus have asked for the landing gear back after some instances, and there's been very little to no damage. So it can take a lot of weight.
Oh. Nev?
We tend to talk about XLR type operations, within Europe and Middle East, but of course in Oz, this makes it extremely usable for going vast distances, into Asia. With going from Sydney to Bangkok, for example. absolutely brilliant. And 4,700 nautical miles is very usable range, and as Andy said, with massive improvements in fuel consumption as well, and lower carbon emissions. It's really going to be an aircraft to beat here, I would say. Definitely.
Especially for the likes of Qantas, like you say, basically everything to them outside the country is long range.
Yeah.
And if you've got really thin routes that you wouldn't make any money on a 787 or a 350, this is the perfect airframe to use to actually make it profitable. I should get a job in Airbus sales, shouldn't I? I think
Airbus marketing. I think you'd do very well.
He'd nail it. He'd nail it. He would.
We'll send your email off, Andy. We'll get you in there. Don't panic. Right, Nev, we've got a update on a story that we covered it seems like ages ago now, but it's probably one of the biggest stories in the UK at the time, wasn't it, Nev?
Yes. Do you remember the problems that Heathrow had with power issues? This is on the BBC today, and it says that issues at an electrical substation which caused a fire that resulted in Heathrow Airport closing were first detected 7 years ago, but not fixed, a report has found. The National Energy System Operator, NESO, said moisture entering electrical components at the North Hyde substation caused the blaze at the site that supplies the UK's biggest airport with power. It revealed an elevated moisture reading that had been first detected in July 2018, but that the issue went unaddressed, with basic maintenance by National Grid cancelled. Heathrow shut down the following day as a result of the power cut, which led to thousands of cancelled flights and stranded passengers. NESO's report said that previously the power outage affected 66,919 domestic and commercial customers, including Heathrow Airport, and around 270,000 journeys were affected. Its report said that the fire was most likely caused by moisture entering the bushing, causing a short circuit. The electricity likely then sparked, which ignited oil and caused a fire. Bushing is an insulating material used around electrical parts for safe operation of equipment. That's a new term that I have not been familiar with up until now. The report said that under National Grid's guidance, such moisture readings indicate an imminent fault and that the bushing should be replaced. But it said that whilst the reading was recorded in National Grid's online system, the mitigations appropriate to its severity were not actioned. It said that the controls in place were not effective and failed to identify subsequently that action had not been taken to fix the problem, which included an opportunity in 2022 when a decision was taken to defer basic maintenance. The power failure resulting in the closure of Heathrow raised wider questions about the UK's major infrastructure resilience. NESO said that the impact beyond the airport was significant, with essential services including road, rail and Hillingdon Hospital affected, as well as businesses and thousands of homes, some of which had to be evacuated. Energy Secretary Ed Miliband said the report detailing how risks were not addressed was deeply concerning. He added that Ofgem, the energy watchdog, had opened an official enforcement investigation to consider any possible licence breaches relating to the development and maintenance of its substation in North Hyde, which was built in the 1960s. National Grid said that it had a comprehensive asset inspection and maintenance programme in place, and that it had taken further action since the fire. It said that this included retesting the resilience of substations that serve strategic infrastructure. In response to the report, Heathrow Airport said a combination of outdated regulation, inadequate safety mechanisms and National Grid's failure to maintain its infrastructure that led to this catastrophic power outage. We expect National Grid to be carefully considering what steps they can take to ensure this isn't repeated, it added. Ash K. Cowell, who's Director General for Infrastructure at Ofgem, said it expected energy companies to properly maintain their equipment and networks to prevent events like this happening. Where is the evidence that they have not, we will take action and hold companies fully to account, he added. NESO said that it was not known to the energy companies that the loss of one of the electrical supply points, of which Heathrow has 3, would result in a power outage to some of the airport's critical systems. The review also found that energy network operators are not generally aware whether customers connected to their networks are critical national infrastructure, it said. That is astounding, isn't it? There's some breaking news that's just come up this afternoon about this, to say that Heathrow Airport is now considering legal action against National Grid after a report found that the fire which caused the airport to shut down was the result of a known fault at an electrical substation some 7 years ago.
Ouch.
I'm going to be I'm going to be a little bit controversial here.
Go on then.
I may regret this. Heathrow is a private company, is it?
It is, yes.
So it's not, although I mean, it's not in any way partly owned by the government or anything like that. So it operates solely as not a private limited company. Obviously, it's a PLC or something. Yeah, is it a PLC or something like that? Or I mean,
yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, National Grid has obviously made a mistake here, or something has not gone according to plan and all that kind of thing. But then at the end of the day, if there are critical systems in a business's network, surely it is the business who owns them's responsibility to protect them.
Yes, I think I would agree with you there. Definitely.
So
yeah.
I understand that they're cross with National Grid for their having a fault, and I get that, and I understand that most of the systems, with the exception of some at Heathrow, were restored quite quickly by switching to other power substations and all that kind of thing while the file and everything was all being dealt with. My issue, I suppose, is if these systems are so critical and they're a private company, in my eyes, it is solely that company's responsibility to protect them in the event of a power outage.
Yes, I think that's a reasonable point. And also, I think that a bit like in the airline world, what you don't want is single points of failure, or to read in the manual that there's deferred maintenance going on. Now, obviously, there are, in Andy's world, minimum equipment lists, and there are very strict rules about what you can and what you can't depart with of things that aren't working.
Yeah.
But in this situation, of course, if there has been deferred maintenance, then somebody has to sign that off.
Yeah.
To say that that's acceptable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I get that, as I say. And don't get me wrong, National Grid have got a lot to answer for. That is a thing. But I honestly don't know if they're going to get very far with suing them. As you say, it's just like, I know they've done away with, because we were all saying at the time, weren't we, why weren't there backup generators? And it turns out that they'd been retired a number of years ago. But again, I'm sorry, but I do still feel that, if Heathrow is the private limited company, they are directly responsible for any form of backup systems. It's a bit, it's not like they've got a choice of involving the third party operator that is National Grid, for example. They've got no choice over that and who provides their infrastructure power. I get that. If you've outsourced your backup services, if you like, to a third party, and then they let you down, that's fine. You can sue them because you've paid them to do a particular service and they've let you down.
Yeah, and I think, in previous jobs that I've done where we have subcontracted some of the work to a third-party supplier, it's still our name
your neck on
above the door, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's our responsibility, and if they haven't performed as they should have done, then it's still our responsibility at the end of the day to the customer, isn't it? So,
again, with a lot of these websites, for example, I mean, like M&S, for example, has been in the news big time, and their third-party IT supplier has been essentially responsible for this data, or has not protected the systems in a way that meant that the data couldn't be stolen and all that kind of thing. But it's still M&S that's going to get fined for it. All right, they might pass it on to someone else, etc., etc. But as I say, it's just like, unfortunately, in my eyes, the buck stops with Heathrow.
Yeah, and so I think also what I hadn't realised until I'd read some of the report was that other bits of key infrastructure were affected as well, like Hillingdon Hospital. I mean, my father was there many years ago. It's a major heart
Right.
Surgery hospital in West London. So it wasn't just the airport that was affected. Lots of other places were affected too. Sorry,
In terms of regulation for airports, there is a regulation that they have to have a backup of all of the navigation and runway lights, etc., so that if there is a failure, then they immediately switch over to another source so that you can land safely. But maybe it's time in regulation that there needs to be legislated a minimum amount of terminal facilities. Because that was the main thing that was affected. This one of the terminals systems. There needs to be a minimum amount of lighting and equipment that can still work, so that if they do legislate it, then Heathrow have no choice then, and every other airport, to make sure that, as you said, they protect their own infrastructure then.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, as I say, I appreciate it's a slightly, it's just, I just feel like we're being far too quick. National Grid have let everybody down. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not entirely sure that, if they didn't turn up to fix it or whatever, I get it, and it's always very annoying when we get power cuts here and stuff. But I don't know. I still feel, I'm going to be bold and say I think this is solely the responsibility of Heathrow.
Anywho.
Lovely.
Moving on.
Any complaints, obviously, as always, to I don't give a crap at airlinepilotguy.com, please. Thank you very much.
Just one final thing. Sorry to labour the point. What really surprised me was the last line that I read, more or less, which was the review also found that energy network operators are not generally aware whether customers connected to their networks are critical national infrastructure. Is that an extraordinary statement?
It is. Yeah, I know. I get that. I sort of. I mean, that is a worry. I mean, one of the. I know, like, you're supposed to tell your electricity company, for example, if you require any, if you have any life giving equipment in your home, for example. So if you require dialysis or something like that, then you are supposed to inform the power company that you're vulnerable. But what they do about it, I don't know. I guess it just helps with a priority list. But I'm pretty sure that they will have known that this was A, affecting Heathrow, and B, they needed to get it working in some way, shape or form as quickly as humanly possible.
Master of None in the chat room, before we move on, says, I really want to see Heathrow for myself, he says. I know it's crazy busy and not great for flying through, but it's on my flying bucket list. There you go. Well, if you need any help, Master of None, the greatest Heathrow advisor is part of our team here at PTUK. It's obviously Neville Bounds.
Quite, absolutely. Yeah. In terms of the hospitality, certainly.
Yeah. And on that note, Mr. Bounds, next part of the show is all yours.
Yes, it's that time, isn't it? Again, the retro airline ad of the week. Well, this week we go back to the British glory days of aviation and to 1969. So let's take a look at this classic BEA advert where you come first. The reservation systems are top notch, and don't forget that they are #1 in Europe.
BEA. BEA, the biggest airline in Europe. #1 in modern jetliners like the Trident II. #1 in equipment and know-how. #1 in fast, reliable computer reservations. Above all, #1 in people. Friendly people. #1 in Europe. #1 in Europe. With BEA, you come first. Whether you're traveling on business or heading for holiday sunshine, with BEA you're in good hands from the moment you start your journey. With BEA, you you come first. That's why we're number one in Europe. BEA flies more people on holiday and business to more places in Europe than any other airline. And we make all these people feel number one all the way. With number one, you come first. BEA, number one in Europe.
Well, I think we got that. They're number one in Europe.
Just in case you didn't know, BEA are number one in Europe.
Is that back in the days when the Advertising Standards Agency didn't exist, and therefore you could make claims without necessarily being challenged on them?
And now, if you've got a bit of, just in case anyone's wondering who British European Airways are.
Yeah, of course. Back in the day, British European Airways, formerly British European Airways Corporation, was a British airline which existed from 1946 until 1974. They operated to Europe, North Africa and the Middle East from airports all around the United Kingdom. And they merged with BOAC, Cambrian Airways and North East Airlines to form British Airways. And I think that advert must have been sponsored by Hawker Siddeley, judging by all the Tridents flying around there. But that was the three-engine machines were the European short and medium haul, aircraft of choice back then, weren't they? So,
and let's not forget, of course, they were number one in Europe.
They were,
yeah.
And as Captain Cruz pointed out in the chat room, Nev, notice the offset nose gear on that Trident.
That's going to come across really well on the audio version, I think.
Yeah,
well. So,
indeed. Yeah. Oh, by the way, did I mention that they're number one in Europe?
Yes, Andy, they're number one in Europe. Yeah.
Yes, they were number one in Europe. This makes you think. EasyJet has lasted longer than BEA did.
Oh,
as a separate airline.
That's an interesting stat, isn't it?
Yeah, but I bet they're not number one in Europe.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
No, we can't just throw that out these days, can we?
No. One has to evidence these things these days.
Oh dear.
And was the 111 around by then? Because that was another short haul workhorse.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, and a lot of airlines took that up, didn't they? Especially to the bucket and spade destinations.
Yeah.
Don't know if it probably wouldn't fly as far as the Canary Islands, I don't think, but
No.
the Malaga routes and all the Med routes it would do, wouldn't it? And
Yeah.
Ryanair famously had a 111 as well. They started with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a nice little segue for your next bit as well.
I was going to say, you know our military aviation expert in the chat room, Mr. Jonathan Warner.
Never heard of him.
Military grey stuff, military man, number one in Europe.
What?
He actually says in the chat room that apparently the offset nose gear on the Trident was to accommodate the new ILS computers.
What?
I know.
Well,
that's what he says.
Fascinating.
There we go. Anyway, so moving on to the next part of the show, and actually, Nev, I think there's actually was there a Trident there at Duxford?
Yes.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you may remember that a couple of weeks ago, Carlos and I visited the Duxford Air Show. Great time there, very warm, I have to say. But here's the second interview that we did, and it was a very busy time, so we could only grab this fella for about 3 or 4 minutes, unfortunately, because he was in between meetings. But I had the pleasure of speaking with Mike Smith, who's the chairman of the Duxford Aviation Society. And of course, they've got an incredible display of aircraft over there, including the BAC 111, an Airspeed Ambassador 2, and of course, one of the pre-production models of Concorde. So let's go to Duxford and have a chat with Mike. Well, we've moved into the shade now, I'm pleased to say, because it is scorching here at Duxford. And I'm with Mike Smith, who's the chairman of the Duxford Aviation
Hi, Nav. Nice to
Society.
see you.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
What sort of day are you expecting today?
Probably in terms of the numbers that are going to come through, a little quieter than we've usually seen. We're probably nearly twice as many tomorrow, so tomorrow's going to be the big day for us. But it's starting to get busy now. The display's still a couple of hours away from starting, so it will grow. And it's just nice to be able to open up and show the aeroplanes to interested people.
Tell us a bit about the organisation itself.
Okay, we are just basically a group of enthusiasts and volunteers, whole range of skills. Some people have worked in the airline business before, a number in the manufacturing side of the business, others absolutely no prior experience but just like aeroplanes or meeting the public. So volunteers cover off tasks like stewarding, so showing the aeroplanes, describing, explaining the aeroplanes to the public. Conservation team, who are the engineers, who keep them in pretty good condition, all things being equal, and it's not easy with them being outside in all weathers, but they do a good job there. And then just a couple of people in the office to keep the whole thing, the grease in the gearbox, just keep it all turning around. Absolutely
incredible collection of aircraft you've got here, Mike. It must be very challenging to try and keep them in as good condition as you can. Of course, you've got the 146 here from the former Queen's flight as well, from Northolt. So
that's right. Yes, the collection ranges from about 1946. The York is the oldest, up to the 146, which was a 86 build, I think. So spans, you might call, the golden years of British aviation.
Yes, because we don't have much in the way of UK aviation manufacturing compared to what we had previously. Obviously, we've got engines and wings and this sort of stuff, but the whole thing, we just don't have that anymore, do we?
No, that's right. It's a shame. It's a thing of the past, but it's a great history to be associated with and to be proud of. And we're really pleased to be able to display these things to the public. It's a great story to tell.
I was going to say, it's very unusual to actually see these things in real life, because there aren't many airframes left now of some of the aircraft that you've got, so that the fact they're on permanent display here at Duxford is superb, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You're absolutely right. One or two of the collection are absolutely unique. The Ambassador is the only one left in the world. The York is one of only two. This one took part in the Berlin airlift. It was an active member there. It's quite a unique collection.
Yeah, and are you always on the lookout for volunteers, people to help you with the organisation as well?
Definitely. It offers a range of different experiences to people from different backgrounds. Always, we can never get enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Thank you very much indeed for allowing us to show us the aircraft and to demonstrate them in their full glory in the sunshine.
That's absolutely our pleasure. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Well, that was fantastic. Thanks very much indeed for talking to us, Mike. And as Mike said, they're always on the lookout for volunteers. So if you feel that you can help them either financially or in person, www.duxfordaviationsociety.org is the website to go to, and there's loads of information in there about how you can help. But fascinating collection of aircraft there, and always challenging, trying to keep them looking spick and span, especially the ones that are outside all the time.
Yeah, they are. It is nice to see those aircraft on display there, and like I said, they try their best to look after them as much as they can, and it makes you wonder whether they'll add anything else to the collection, Nev, in the not too distant future of aircraft. Yes,
and I think obviously they're relying on airlines and people that are retiring aircraft to assist them. But it was great that they managed to get the 146 in there. I'm really pleased about that. So yeah.
Yeah, if you get a chance to go to Duxford here in the UK, if you're living in the US or somewhere, but if you get a chance to go to Duxford, it is well worth a visit. And I think Nev and Matt and Andy will agree, if you're going to go to Duxford near Cambridge, you need a whole day, don't you really, to go around the whole museum from start to finish.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And there's also, if you want to combine two, there's the de Havilland Museum as well, if you're coming around London way up to there. That's a good one as well.
Yeah, well worth a visit indeed. Right, time for some grey stuff. Mr. Warner's favourite part of the show. So, Matt, if you're ready, can you hit the button?
Black Bogies
Breeze 13550, Angel 16, heading 340. Okay. Undersea boogie.
And the first story comes from forcesnews.com. And just saying a moment ago, I hope that perhaps Duxford will catch or grab one of these and put into on display. This is the Royal Air Force will be receiving a replacement for its aging Hawk fast jet trainers with the new aircraft potentially being made in Britain. The Prime Minister confirmed the move to BFBS Forces News during a visit to RF Valley, where the Hawk is used to train the next generation of fighter pilots. While the Hawk has provided an excellent service to the Royal Air Force, it's getting long in the tooth. It first entered service with the RAF back in 1976. Just going to say that's a great year. And despite a number of upgrades over its operational life, a new aircraft is the preferred option for the future. The Strategic Defence Review, which was published on the 2nd of June, specifically mentioned the RAF's T1 and T2 Hawk trainers. It said they needed to be replaced, which was with a cost-effective fast jet trainer. The SDR also recommended that the current training arrangements for jet pilots should be urgently revised with more use of contractors and overseas training. Sir Keir Starmer was asked during his visit whether he had a chance to speak to the team at Royal Air Force Valley and when the SDR's recommendations regarding the Hawk and fast jet training would come to fruition. He told BFBS Forces News, yes, he said, we've had the conversation. A number of them raised it with me, he said. But first, can I just pay tribute to everyone at the RAF Valley because they are doing an incredible training here. And I've talked to some of those being trained that are at various points in their training. Their dedication to their careers to be fast jet pilots on the front line at a time of great volatility in the world. And he said, I pay tribute to them and their families and everybody who provides the training in relation to the equipment capability. So in relation to the upgraded jets, he said, I do think it's right that we upgrade them, and that's what we are doing. In addition to pilot training, the Hawk, as we all know, is the jet flown by the Royal Air Force's Red Arrows aerobatic display team, who unfortunately didn't display at Duxford on the Sunday, did they, Nev? But
No, they didn't. Much to the disappointment of many folks that had gone to there on Sunday specifically to see them. But I just cannot believe that these aircraft are now 49 years old, and presumably the maintenance that the ground crews and maintenance crews have to go through every time with these things to keep them going must be absolutely enormous. And so often we hear about aircraft going tech or this unavailability for all kinds of reasons. But yeah, it's about time, isn't it, that they were replaced?
Yeah, I like to wonder whether they'll scrap, sell, or, I don't know, Nev, these aircraft, what they'll do with them.
Perhaps the plane reclaimers might feature some parts on their website for you to purchase to accompany your...
Not for me. That'll be for Mr. Warner.
Oh, yes.
No. Jonathan Warner says in the chat room, only the Reds ones are that old. The T2s are all around 20 years old, he said. So there we go.
In that case then, that's probably not much airframe life, is it, really? Considering the journeys that they do. So
certainly not in terms of usage, amazing. I would imagine.
Right, some defence news, Nev, about the E7.
Yeah, it's on the defencepost.com, and it says that the US Air Force has cancelled its ongoing E7 Wedge-tail Sentry Airborne Early Warning and Control System program as part of the government's defence budget rollout for fiscal 2026. The step follows predictions of the initiative's possible termination as the Trump administration increasingly favours orbital systems with similar functions over airborne capabilities. Although acknowledging that the E7 E7 is a perfectly great platform. A senior military official explained that it will be set aside for large investment in space-based sensing, which would also support other ambitious efforts to cover homeland defence and theatre security in the Indo-Pacific. The E7 was selected in 2022 to replace the E3 Sentry system by 2027. Eventually, the Boeing-produced aircraft would operate alongside the service's existing Northrop Grumman E2D Hawkeye AEW. It was initially planned that the Air Force would employ a fleet of 26 E7s by 2032. The department is cancelling the E7 Wedgetail programme due to significant delays with cost increases from $588 million to $724 million per aircraft and survivability concerns in a contested environment, whilst investing in alternate solutions, including space-based capabilities and adding additional E-2D aircraft, the official said in a Pentagon media briefing. Based on Boeing 737-700, the E-7 is a proven aircraft that has been operational in Allied forces since 2012. NATO is also currently under contract to adopt the plane in 2028. The plane measures 110 feet long and has a wingspan of 117 feet. Its primary equipment is Northrop's multi-role electronically scanned array radar, which can collect data for up to 600 kilometers of range, simultaneously track 180 targets and execute more than 20 intercepts. Some E7s are integrated with a signals intelligence array, allowing a maximum scan range of 850 kilometres. The aircraft is powered by twin CFM56 turbofans with a combined output of 136,500 horsepower for a top speed of 460 knots and a service ceiling of 41,010 feet with a range of 3,500 nautical miles.
Puzzled a few people, this story has. Mr. Warner especially says it's an odd decision, he says in the chat room. It feels to me like the E7 Wedgetail has not been about that long, but I think it must have been about a few years.
So I just thinking about contractual things, the cost of canning a program like this must be enormous. If you think about the supply chain and the build and all the rest of it, there must be a lot in contractual things where there's penalty clauses for this kind of thing.
I'd expect
2009.
I'd expect the equipment. There's still other NATO due to take it. A few other countries use it. Well, we definitely have at least one. I'm sure Australia have it. So I think it's going to be around for a while. This administration's got 3.5 years left. It might get reordered again. Who knows?
They've got a list.
So who's got? There's no fourth crown. We're the fifth crown and
724.
Oh, I don't know. I don't understand it all. Hello, who's opened what? What's going on? Anybody know what all this crown nonsense?
I just googled it, and even
somebody sending it back to me.
Google
made it. It's on Channel 3. What's going on? Oh, it stopped. Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh, that was interesting. That was the start of the show feeding back to me there.
That's weird. What was I saying? The price, 724 million quid for one of these E3 Wedgetails, which is a fair amount of money. But yeah, it is a funny decision. But I'm still yet to go inside one of these. Unfortunately, they wouldn't let us in with camera equipment when they were at RIAT a few years back.
Oh, would they not?
No. Reluctant to let us in. Don't know why.
Well, secrets, I suppose. Risk of some secrets being exposed.
Yeah, I know. That's seeing all those Spectrum Plus 2s in there and the Amstrads in there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Air shows, Nev. Hopefully going to be visiting some more air shows this year. Shuttleworth one, we're not 100% sure on yet, but where are we? Else are we going, Nev?
So if we do go to Shuttleworth, it'll be on the July the 26th, which is the Saturday. That is weather dependent, because I do not do air shows when wet. I have a
An aversion
about
to it.
that.
An
Scared.
aversion to it, yeah.
Even though I've got a nice new cover for my camera, I'm not going to get wet at an air show. And also, Carlos could be moving house around about that time. So we'll see how we get on with that. However, what is definitely on is the Bray Air Show just south of Dublin in the Republic of Ireland. And of course, there it's the biggest public free event in Ireland. If you go to the brayair.display.com website, all the details are now there. They've also got X and a Facebook page as well. Car parking is €12, and you must have a car park permit if you're going to park your car there. A bit like so many other events. But yeah, that's going to be really good. Lots of ground stuff going on as well as air displays itself, and we're just waiting for a couple of people to come back to us to make sure we've got the right passes and authority to do all this stuff. So that will be really good. And then the next one, the final one for the year, will be on Saturday 30th of August. It's Beccles at EGSM, Echo Golf Sierra Mike. That's the PTUK summer meetup. So we'll be there in the morning, and join us for a bit of lunch, as long as you pay your own way. And you can watch the GA World go by. It's a great airfield and facility, isn't it? I like it there, I must say.
Yeah, you can watch the aircraft taking off from the comfort of a double-decker bus.
Yeah.
Which is always interesting. But yeah, some good stuff planned. I'm looking forward to the Bray Air Show. It's going to be a good trip away, that is. Definitely well needed as well. But looking forward to that. Right, social media links. Andy, I think Beans, as you're away next week, we'll get you to tell everyone where they can find us online on social media.
Yes, well, on Facebook, X and Instagram, just search for Plain Talking UK and you'll find us. If you'd like to email us, it is podcast@plaintalkinguk.com. Got the website, plaintalkinguk.com. And of course, you can also WhatsApp us on +44 7446 975 214. And why not subscribe to our YouTube channel? You'll get notifications when we go live, and you can help shape the conversation of the show by joining us in the chat room. Go to youtube.com and search for Plain Talking UK.
Yes, feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Get those emails in. Right, shall we have a look and see who is in the crown list on the? Because we were talking about this earlier. Well, these crowns in the YouTube room. Top crown at the minute is Lee Davies has got number one spot there in the chat room. Nev, how did you manage to creep in at number 2?
Well, I started at number 1. I went down the pecking order as the show went on. So I now feel a bit inadequate, I have to say.
Captain Cruz is number 3. FCL Anglaise is at number 4. I'm at number 5. I don't understand that at all. Darren is at number 6. Jason Trussell at number 7. Mark Priestley at number 8. Hobby Time at number 9. And at number 10, James, Master of None, isn't it? Yeah. So there we go. And sorry, Tanya, you just missed it there, number 11. But if anyone knows what all this crown business is about on YouTube, please do let us know, because none of us can work out what it's all about. There we go. But that is it. Quick round robin then before we all head off tonight. Going to start first. Obviously, Andy, you are going to be missing next week, but have you got some exciting things planned for your next week?
Yes, as I said at the start, I'm off to Iceland on Monday. Back on Wednesday afternoon into Luton. Then I go on a train down to Gatwick, where I'm in Gatwick until Thursday evening, then back home.
Oh, busy old time then. Well, enjoy your flight. Have fun.
Thanks.
Yeah. Mr. Bounds, what's going on in the stressful, work-free world of Neville Bounds?
Yeah, well, of course, not as exciting as Andy. So tomorrow I'm going to, I think it's my 10th or 11th Keep Fit session with Mrs. Nev, where we all come out crippled afterwards. But apparently it's good for you. We're going back to the Westfield Shopping Centre in West London on Monday for a little walk around there. Haven't been there for a while. And I think we're in for some nice weather again, actually. Hopefully not as hot as it was the last few days because it was a real scorcher. But yeah, some bits and pieces going on as well. Nothing too strenuous or anything which requires looking at the watch or the clock, which is a nice change, I have to say.
I bet.
Mr. Smith.
Not a lot, really. Doing some dog sitting. That's about it, really.
Oh, good. Sounds like fun.
Yeah. I think that's all I've got in the itinerary for next week. I don't know. I'll look at the calendar and get back to you.
And hopefully enjoying some more sunshine. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I don't
know.
Although
it's due to get a bit cooler now for a little while here in the UK.
We'll see.
So,
we'll see.
Yes, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next week. I might go and visitate Duxford Imperial War Museum just for a day.
You've got some home runs to do, haven't you?
I've got some. Yes, I've got some
radio
shows
to do.
Got some radio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which will be fun.
Yeah.
But I might have a day next week, and yeah, I might do that. If I do that, I'll put it on the socials in case anyone's around and fancies joining me at Duxford next week. I'll let you know. Right. Master of None. Master of None said he says 38 degrees Celsius here in Germany today. My word, they've nicked our summertime.
I can say they've taken our summer, haven't they?
They've taken our summer. Right, that is where we're going to bring episode 558 of the show to a close. Big thanks to
Mr. Warner sent me a picture, by the way, just so that you know. He's been multitasking. There you go. He's been multitasking while we've been on air,
sorting through his 768 million photos. That
I'm going to say by that picture that was a recent trip to Shuttleworth.
Yes.
Anyway,
558. That's a wrap for the show. Don't forget to tune in next Wednesday when hopefully we'll be back on air at 7:00. Andy, we're going to miss you next week.
We're going to be starting slightly later next week.
Possibly, yes, slightly later next week. Only by a few minutes.
Yeah.
But join us next week on the show and we'll have loads more news and hopefully another exciting retro airline ad of the week. So that's it from me, Carlos, here in the home studio, from Matt in the Master Suite studios, from Nev in his countryside studios, and from Andy in the pub studios. We'll see you soon, Andy. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Say goodbye, Andy.
Goodbye.
Open, but it's on my tablet, which is not plugged in.
Sorry, if you're wondering what we're talking about, we're just having a little discussion. We're trying to work out where the start of the show suddenly repeated itself in the middle of our show. We're trying to work out where that came from. If you'd like to see the start of
the show,
yeah, absolutely, indeed. Yeah.
I was quite excited by that because I thought all the presenters would get a repeat performance fee.
A what now?
You know. We're not getting paid for it.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember that. No, I don't remember that contract. What was that all about? Oh dear, never mind.
Do you know, it's going to be an absolute pain when I have to strip all this down in here.
It's going to break your heart, isn't it? Because it's so cool. Yeah. It's a very cool space.
I was thinking about that today when I was in here doing some prep work, and I thought I've got to unplug all the cabling,
Yeah.
all the stuff off the wall. Oh, my word. I'm torn on the idea of giving away my Lego aircraft airport set away as a prize, because, well, I have no young people in the family who would appreciate it. Yeah, I might do.
Can it not go in the new in the new place?
It's, the new house is considerably smaller than the current house that we live in here, unfortunately. The only thing I won't be downsizing is the amount of aircraft windows that are currently hanging on the wall in the house office.
Good luck with those negotiations.
They will be going back on the wall, and that has already been negotiated, because
very good. Okay, right.
The spare room is going to be the new
studio. Yeah.
And it'll be the room that I have carte blanche on to
decorate how you see fit.
Yes. Rest of the house is Gemma's. She can have all
the rest of the house will be absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. And of course the garage will be mine. The garage, I'm looking forward to that, because the garage is considerably bigger than the garage that we've got.
Are you not tempted to put a studio in there? It would be lovely. It'd be ideal. It'd be absolutely fantastic. But one slight issue, which is
that in the new home,
yes,
apart from having a lovely wood burner in the front room,
yes,
we are on oil, and the oil tank is in the garage.
Oh, right.
So it's a bit,
which is great from a security point of view, of course.
Yes, but yes, bit whiffy. So
that's a shame, because otherwise that would have worked quite nicely again, wouldn't it? But there we go.
Yeah,
perhaps you'll find a ventilation solution that.
But the good news is for you, Mr. Smith, is obviously that you'll get the chair that's in the
well, there is that. I'm quite
now.
excited. Yes, which one is it? Is the one in the one upstairs at the moment, or the one in the studio?
Yes, the black one upstairs in the studio.
Yeah. Oh, I just thought I can't get rid of my chairs now, can I?
Which ones?
Because it's all about me, innit? Yeah, never mind. Anyway, by the by.
Yeah, Captain Cruise makes a good point. I'll have to make a garden pub like Andy. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a shout.
Yeah.
That's a shout.
I've got some mega plans for the garage in the new house when we move in there.
Oh, have you? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
As in, like, for my
Tools
DIY tool kind of side of things.
You have got a fabulous collection, to be fair.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Anyway, right. Let's let these lovely, glorious people get back to their Wednesday evenings. Going to say a big thanks again to everyone who's tuned in this evening in the chat room. Very much appreciated by all of you listening and watching us every Wednesday here. We do love it. Absolutely love it. So, yeah. And just going to have one last quick look at the crowns. Lee Davies is number 1. Neville Bounds is still holding on to the number 2 slot. Captain Cruise is at 3. Master of None at number 4. And Mark Priestley is in at number 5. So well done. There we go.
Do you think Lee Davis is number 1 in Europe as well?
Oh, with that question.
Oh, no, BEI number 1 in Europe. We know this. Yes. Right, that's it. Nev, I will leave you to say goodbye to our awesome chat room.
Yeah, brilliant. Again, thank you to the folks in the chat room. A lot of fun as usual, and hope you have a nice week and the weekend. We'll be back next Wednesday, as Carl said. It might be slightly later than usual. Might be at 7 o'clock for some logistic weirdness we've got to work out for next week, but we'll definitely be on air on Wednesday, maybe slightly after 7. But in the meantime, I hope you have a great rest of the week. Take care of yourselves, and bye for now.